Yes guys, what is going on, and welcome back to another video here on my channel. So this one has been a highly requested video. This is how to manage lifting and running, how to balance them both, how to get the most out of each of them. So that is what we're going to be covering in today's video. First things first, we're going to be going to the gym to do a chest and back session, maybe a little bit of shoulders, just an all-round kind of upper body day. And then tomorrow I'm going to be attempting to do a 5k PB, so that will all be in this video, so make sure you stay tuned. So yeah, like I say, first things first, we're going to be going to the gym. I have just hit 125,000 subscribers on YouTube. By the time you see this, it's going up at an insane rate at the moment, so I don't know what we'll be on, but I just wanted to say thank you all for your consistent, continuous support. It is much appreciated. There is big things coming for me and my page, and exciting things for you viewers to watch this year. So please, if you haven't subscribed already, make sure you do, and make sure you smash that like button. Before we go to the gym, just wanted to talk to you about a few new products that Ghost are bringing out. Firstly, this shaker. Very cool design, got the roses on there, the colour's sick. Now, if you're someone like me, this video fits this perfectly. If you're someone like me who runs and lifts, or whatever you do, if you go to the gym, you run regularly, you play football, whatever it is, if you're placing a lot of load on your body and you want a product that is good for recovery, then this new joint formula is there to help assist in joint recovery and sustainability, so that, you know, when you're placing that load on your joints, you have something to help you recover and continue to go at a high intensity. And also dropping on the 22nd of April, so by the time this video is live, this should all be live as well on the Ghost website, is this new greens matcha latte flavor. And if you place an order over $75, you get this free like mixer thing for your coffee. So remember, code J for 20% off. Without further ado, we are going to head to the gym, and I'm going to be talking to you about how to manage running and lifting. So let's go. So we are at the gym, and we are going to be doing an upper body workout, so chest, back, bit of shoulders. Not going to do any arms, but yeah, just those three. Like I said, I'm going to be talking to you about how to balance lifting and running. So what you'll find is when I talk about quite a lot of the things to do individually with lifting and running, a lot of them kind of apply to both and then tie into one another. So for example, managing your load, your nutrition. We're going to be covering both topics for lifting, for running, but ultimately you are one person and it's all kind of going to be tailored towards doing both. So yeah, we're going to start the workout and then I'll explain more as we go on. Right, so the first thing when you're attempting to run and lift, this applies generally anyway, even if you was just lifting, but you want to be following a structured plan. So making sure you have it set out exactly what you want to be training on each individual day, and you're following that strictly for a prolonged period of time. That way, once you have a structured plan for lifting and running, you can sync them both up perfectly and make sure that you're managing your load correctly. So for example, you're not throwing in a leg day the day before a long run. Once you follow a structured plan, not only is that going to help you line it up properly for your lifting and your running, but it's going to allow you to make the best progress in each of those. And when it comes to lifting, you're going to make sure you're targeting each individual muscle group for the appropriate amount of times throughout the week in order to actually see progress. But you're also not going to be overtraining in the gym, affecting your running as a result. So yeah, make sure you follow a structured plan. So it's taken me a while of dedicating myself to lifting and running to kind of figure out what works best for me, and what works best for me doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to work best for everyone, but you can take little bits of what I apply to my own training and nutrition and use that when it comes to structuring your own plan. So for me personally, what's working best for me right now is training in the gym 4 times a week and running 3 times a week. With my goals at the moment of trying to reduce body fat, stay a relatively decent size and get fitter with my running, this is what works the best. It means that I'm not overtraining, it means I'm hitting each muscle group individually, it means I've got enough energy to do my running and perform that at a high level as well. It means I'm not overtraining my legs in the gym. So this is what's working perfectly. And I think if you are running and lifting, I think 4 times a week is pretty much ideal, because you can certainly make growth 4 times a week. There's people that just lift that train 4 times a week. You don't need to be going to the gym 5-6 times a week. That's not not saying that you shouldn't. You can, of course, if you want to be training more at the gym, if you enjoy going to the gym more, do more days in the gym. But for me, where I'm training so much, it's about obviously getting the most out of it. And I don't want to be constantly training all the time where it gets to a point where I'm a little bit mentally exhausted, where I'm like, oh, I'm at the gym 6 times a week, I'm running 3-4 times a week. Like, even if my body doesn't feel exhausted mentally, you do sometimes then tend to lack motivation. So for me, motivation wise, this makes sure I've got that motivation for everything. And again, physically, I'm able to perform everything at an optimal level. Right, so the next thing when it comes to running and lifting, obviously, if you're going to the gym, you want to be making as much progress as possible. I imagine you want to look aesthetic, you want to look like you're holding some decent muscle mass, and obviously one of the biggest deterrents of people running and lifting is that they think they're going to lose a lot of muscle mass. Now, the truth of the matter is, running a lot and lifting, running can hinder your ability to build muscle mass to an extent. However, there is absolutely no doubt, me hopefully being living proof, that you can build muscle mass, maintain muscle mass whilst running. So what's going to be key when you're in the gym is going to be focusing on progressive overload. You would have heard this a lot of times before on my channel, on other people's channel. This means every time you go to the gym, challenging yourself to do that little bit more, whether it is pushing more weight, whether it's doing more reps, whether it's incorporating some drop sets, some supersets, increasing the intensity every time you train. Now, when you tie in running and lifting, it is sometimes the question of, well, naturally, aren't I going to be exhausted sometimes? Isn't the load going to take its toll on me week to week, and I'm not always going to be able to push that extra all the time? And the answer is yes, that can be the case. And that's when you've got to look into things like nutrition, which I will get onto. If you are working hard constantly and pushing yourself to failure the most you can do, you are going to be stimulating muscle growth, and you're going to be maintaining as much muscle mass as you possibly can, whilst losing quite a bit of body fat through the fact that you're running and exerting that much energy through your lifting and running. So if you want to build and maintain muscle mass whilst you're lifting, when it comes to working out in the gym, you just got to work extremely hard. You've got to push weight, push heavy weight, challenge yourself, keep a log of your workouts, every exercise you're doing, follow that same structure so that every week you're doing the same plan, and you can look at what you did last week on cable flyers, for example. Okay, I did 8 reps of 20 kg. Next week, I'm going to go for 9 reps or 10 reps, or I'm going to go for 8 reps of 25 kg, so on and so forth. That is how you progressively overload. That is how you challenge yourself, and that is how you stimulate muscle growth and keep that muscle mass when you're trying to run and lift. Okay, so I've already touched on it, but another important thing when trying to manage lifting and running, but obviously getting the most out of your lifting, and then obviously individually your running as well, is going to be nutrition. And when I was speaking earlier about how you may feel like when you're trying to make progress week to week in the gym, the fact that you're running and stuff can take its toll on you. You may feel like you're overtraining and you can be fatigued, and that will affect your progress. That is where nutrition comes in and is so important. The amount of food you're eating, the quality of the food you're eating, if you're getting the right amount of each macronutrient, the timings of your meals when it comes to your training sessions. Are you training fasted? Are you having a meal just before your training session that is going to fuel you correctly for your workout? All these types of things are going to be crucial when it comes to balancing both and performing both to a reasonable or competitive or just decent standard. I wouldn't say reasonable, because for me, I like to be quite high in both, not just like average. Don't want to be average. So something I briefly mentioned just now again, that you want to make sure you're taking, paying a really close eye to, is your sleep. You know, that is going to be the most important pre-workout you can get. If you're sleeping well, you are allowing your body the best opportunity to recover as much as it possibly can in time for your next workout. And if you're training a lot, the more sleep you can get, the more recovered you're going to be, the more you're going to be able to push yourself in the next session. So if you're going from a lifting to a running session, or a running to the next day a lifting session, if you sleep better within all of that, and then when you tie in everything else I've said, from your nutrition to every other aspect of the training itself, you're going to be having some good workouts and you're going to get to where you want to be. So when it comes to my lifting split, like I said, I'm doing 4 days a week and it consists of a push, pull, legs, and then an upper body day. Now, reason being, legs only once a week because I'm running 3 times a week. I find that if I train my legs hard enough and well enough on that one day, I'm getting the results that I want. My legs look the way I want. They're lean because I'm quite low in body fat. The muscular development is quite strong. That's why I only do 1 leg day a week. Then my upper body push, pull, and then an upper body day. Right people, so wrapped up our lifting session for today. I've told you everything you need to know about the lifting side of things, but you do need to know about the running as well, which I've kind of tied in. They link in obviously because we're running and lifting, but I'm going for a 5K PB tomorrow morning, which is going to be very, very tough. So when I go for my run, I'm going to be talking to you about everything you need to be doing in order to make sure you're getting the most out of your running whilst you're lifting as well. So I'll see you all in a second for a 5K PB. Right people, so it is the following day, and as I said, we are going for a 5K run this morning. This is the shortest distance I've done in a while because I've been preparing for my 5K race that I've got on the 5th of May. So I haven't actually tested my 5K in a long time. So before we go, we are getting our electrolytes on board from Ghost. We have carved up. I've had protein pancakes for breakfast, so they've got 50 grams of oats in them. They've got banana, honey, so all the good stuff, bit of quick carbs, some sugar in there just to give me that energy. I'm gonna have the electrolytes. I'm also gonna have an energy gel, not because you really need it for a 5K run, but if you're trying to set a PB, then getting those quick carbs for that bit of energy is gonna probably benefit you a little bit. So that is what we're gonna do. 5K PB, about to go down. I say PB since I've been a bit heavier. Now the PB is about to go down. So we are starting in 3, 2, 1, go. $2K to go. How do you do this? 4:37, 23:10. Like I said, that was my first time doing a proper 5K race like that. In terms of testing my time and my pacing, I think I set off too quick. I was about 4:20. I felt good in the first 3K. I really thought I was going to get it. I was on about 4:25 per kilometre with about 2 kilometres to go. The last 2 there was a slight bit of hill and that just wrote me off, but you know, we're a step closer. We still look like we go gym, we're running good. So I'll see you all back at the crib. So we're back from the 5K now. That was 23 minutes, 10 seconds. Not the most impressive 5K time if you're looking at it for the face of it, but what we are doing here is we are balancing lifting and running. So when you think about it in the grand scheme of things, plus in terms of me having this size that I've got now and me running, I'm fairly new to this sort of journey. So don't watch this space, because within a very short period of time, that time will climb. I'm just going to keep pushing, keep going. I reckon by the 5K race we'll definitely hit 22:30 for sure, especially with the adrenaline and motivation of everyone else running. It was tough, but it felt good. Now, when it comes to improving your running, you want to be having 3 sort of runs a week. One easy run where you just go out, you can converse at that pace, you know, you're just getting the mileage done. That will build up the amount of distance your legs can take. Then you want some long runs where you're testing, you're pacing, whilst also covering a considerable amount of distance. And then you also want some interval or tempo work. This is where you're going to build your speed. So you're going to be running at faster paces than you would in your final race day, but where you're running faster, like I say,
that's going to build up your speed in your legs. So when you come to your final race day, when you've been doing interval work, that way you'll be able to cover the ground a lot more quickly than you would have if you wasn't doing any interval work. And when it comes to fueling your running, we kind of covered it all with lifting. It's the same principle that applies. You need good nutrition, good fuel. So you need some sort of caffeine source, electrolyte source. Also want some sort of carb. So some sort of fast carb like those energy gels that I just took before I came out. All in all, the same principles apply, like I said, for lifting and for running. So I hope you have taken some advice from this video. I'll go into a lot more detail about running, lifting, as you follow my journey. When we have more dedicated running days, I'll talk to you more. And I want you to really come in on my journey. It's good that you can see that I'm running at a 23:10 pace. So when you watch one of my videos in 3 months' time, you see how far I've come. You can see that every step I've taken to get to that stage has paid off, and I've also managed to maintain a good gym routine, a good lifting routine, and maintain an aesthetic physique. So I appreciate you all for watching. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, smash the like button, comment down below what video you want to see next, and I'll see you all in the next video.